I'm going to talk about making the right abstractions when building a platform. Platform engineering. Yeah, awesome. A bit about me. My name is Henrik Høgh. I work at Lunar. We're a bank, but mostly a tech company, like a powerhouse for your money on your phone. I'm in a squad Odyssey, which doesn't really say anything about us, but we're cool. I like Cloud Native. I'm co-organized in the Cloud Native Aarhus group, part of the Cloud Native Nordic. I did a keynote in Valencia, KubeCon this year. And I like Dungeons and Dragons. Not a lot in common, but there are actually some things. So what is an abstraction, right? And so let's head over to the next slide and face the facts. So what is an abstraction? Let's head over to the next slide and face the facts. It's a joke. You understand it now. Here we have complexity in different phases, right? Again, joking. So the one on the left is very simple. It's fast. It's cheap. You want to use it for Pictionary, in Danish, tegnergæt. On the right, you have details. It's more expensive. Takes more time. It's great for police sketching if you're into that. Or you see people mysteriously. You can do it with Helm. You can abstract away details, like my favorite drink is coffee. It's a lie, but it's a good example. And then you can have a template that transforms this into the Kubernetes manifest that you use, right? But the most important thing is that you abstract it away. So if you give the developers both the Helm chart and the value file, you actually added complexity to them and the mental load. So what you want to do instead is to offload complexity that's not important to the developers. And you can do that, for instance, with a platform team. It's an API. We don't use Helm at Lunar, but this is basically templating where you offload them, right, if you do it right. And you can use Helm with GitOps, like Helm template, and put it in Git, have Flux reconcile it. Helm install is not GitOps, in my opinion. So where does these fit? Well, the value file's all the way to the left, right, or as far as you can push it. And then your desired state in Git is actually not far to the right. It's somewhere near that. But the actual state in Kubernetes is the complete picture. Because what you have in Git is not the entire truth. And I learned that from Costly, and I'm very thankful for that. I think it's a company that you'll hear more from in the near future. Because in this case, you don't have endpoints or anything in Git, right? I mean, you don't have that. You don't have parts. You don't have replicas. You have deployments. OK, so in Lunar, we have Shuttle, and we have Release Manager, 2 CLIs, and they cover these things. They abstract away the details like templating, scripting, all that stuff from a plan, and they can opt out on every level. So that's very important. It also controls the release cycle, how they release things to production, to dev, and all that stuff with the Release Manager. And one of the things it does, it gives you feedback in Slack and tells you exactly what's going on, what went well, and so on. And this is very important because you don't want to build a black box. You want it to communicate back what is happening. And we also have other tools like Backstage, like American Airlines is using for templating new services. So a new service takes like roughly 3 minutes, then it's running in production. We use Humio, awesome tool, and Grafana, I guess you know that. But the most important thing is that they need to be able to opt out. You don't want to create a prison. So with Shuttle, they can actually opt out on a single template or a single script or the entire plan as we use. And you can use one plan for many services. And because if you don't do this, it'll be a prison, and they will hate you for it. So I've been thrown out of my rhythm here. So I'm actually done now. And I have a minute left. So I'm sorry about that. Technical problems. That's how it is. But that's what we do at Lunar. We have these 2 CLIs. All developers don't want to know about Kubernetes, Docker files, or anything. They really don't care. They don't want to care. I mean, they hate it when they have to care. But we need to communicate back in their channels what is going on, what went well, and help them when it doesn't do that. So I think I'll end it here. Thank you so much.